What's going on, you guys? Hope everybody's doing well this morning. Tank Davis last night came out with another tweet. Of course, he since deleted this tweet, right? He since then deleted this tweet. But, as you know, boxing fans, they're going to do their due diligence and screenshot and save all these tweets because we know Tank is going to delete. Tank Davis deleted the tweet saying, yeah, they playing games. Now, who are they? Who is playing these games? Right? Who are they? And then Tank Davis says, I need to take my talents somewhere else. With the eyeball emojis, right? Who is Tank Davis talking about? Well, fans questioned, is he talking about Leonard Ellaby, et cetera, right? Tank Davis responds by saying, I'm not signed to anyone. I'm not signed to them, so how could I be talking about them? Of course, he still deleted these tweets. But we all know who Tank Davis was talking about. We know exactly who Gervonta Tank Davis was talking about. He was talking about none other than PBC, man. Right? Those are the only people that's been handling his career, his whole career. He hasn't dealt with anybody else. And yeah, Tank Davis last seen with Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner seemed like he's getting ready for camp. We're not quite sure who AB is going to fight. And as you see in the picture here, you see Erickson Hammer Lubin. And I'm not quite sure who the other guy is next to AB and between AB and Lubin. But yeah, that's what Tank Davis was at. He's down there with those guys in Florida, I believe. I believe they're in Florida. AB training with Coach Kev again. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what Tank Davis is doing, but we heard what Adrian Broner said a few weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago, about it's not looking good for Showtime, right? It's not looking good for him. Ryan Garcia came out with a tweet around the same time Tank Davis saying that boxing is boring and don't nobody want to fight anybody. What is really going on? Are we going to still get this fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia? You know what I'm saying? Are we still going to get that fight this year? It's been a lot of fighters, man. A lot of young guys, man. A lot of guys that's reaching their prime. A lot of guys that's about to be leaving their prime that's been really inactive. Really, really inactive. Right? But who is Tank Davis talking about taking his talents elsewhere? Somewhere else. Maybe that's what he needs to do. Tank Davis is a high commodity in the sport of boxing. Any promotional company put big money in front of Gervonta Tank Davis. Any promotional company will be putting a big bag in front of Gervonta Tank Davis. And we all know this. We know that they'll put the money in front of Tank Davis for him to make for him to fight on their platforms, right? For him to fight on their networks, they will put the money in front of Tank Davis in order for those things to happen. But will Tank Davis step outside the PBC doors and challenge some of the better fighters that's in his weight class? Because let's be honest, a lot of the top guys in his weight class are elsewhere. They're not necessarily under the PBC promotional banner. Now you got guys like Michel Rivera, who's over there waiting for his shot. He may be one of the guys that's next in line to fight Tank mandatory wise. But other than that, there's a lot of dudes that's elsewhere that Tank Davis can make huge fights with, make so much money with. Tank Davis is a hot name in the sport, right? But Fred from Barbershop Conversations came out with a message, right? Fred's been one of the main guys telling people for a long time that this thing with PBC isn't looking good, right? And some people may feel indifferent about it because at one point Fred was Mr. PBC. Now he's Mr. Anti-PBC. And check out what he had to say.
It's short, make it sweet. They're PBC fighters. If Al Heyman owes you money, you better give it. I'm going to repeat it again. PBC fighters. If Al Heyman owes you money, you better find a way to get it. You better put an injunction. You better hire a lawyer. You better get it because it's about to go down.
What does that mean? Right? For weeks, for years, man, it's been this narrative with PBC and how they're going to go under, but they still seem to manage to stay afloat every year. But I'm not quite sure at this particular point if it's going to be the case this time, right? It's not looking good. It's really not looking good. They couldn't get the Spence Crawford fight done. That's huge. Of course, fans are gonna blame somebody. Why not blame Bud? Hashtag blame Bud. But in reality, man, PBC dropped the ball on that fight. They should have been prepared for Crawford, and they should have gave both fighters everything they wanted to make the fight happen. But nah, they tried to. I don't know what the hell they tried to do. I already spoke about it in my latest stream. Go check out the latest stream from last night. But Tank Davis, man, who is he talking about? Who is he go fight? Right? Tank Davis, what, 28 years old now? Going on 28 years old. He got to start fighting because he's going to be 30 before we know it. And you know, is this fight with Ryan going to happen? That's the thing. You know, Tank Davis talking about taking his talents elsewhere. DAZN and Golden Boy would love to have him. Of course, I wouldn't recommend guys signing with Golden Boy, brothers signing with Golden Boy at all. But maybe he can have a deal with DAZN and do it that way. I mean, look, man, I'm for the fighters before anything. I've always been. I'm always for the fighters before any promotional company, any network company, any of that stuff. I'm for the fighters, man. What's best for the fighters. And if the next move for Tank Davis is leaving PBC and going elsewhere, that's possibly the best move for Tank Davis. Then he need to go do that, because Tank Davis don't really need a promoter. He really don't need anybody. He really don't. Tank Davis could do this thing on his own. At 20-something years old, he could do it on his own. He's Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? He don't need nobody to talk for him. He don't need none of that. Leonard Ellerbe don't really be saying anything anyway. And Floyd Mayweather's never around to promote any of his fights. Why? Because he's promoting his own fights. So Tank Davis should do his own thing, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. He needs to do his own thing before it's too late. I'm not quite sure if PBC is going under. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the Showtime thing. You heard about what they said with Paramount. Might be taking them over or something like that. You hearing rumors that Steven Espinoza is looking to get out of boxing. So you really quite don't know what's going on, but you keep constantly hearing these things circulate through the boxing airwaves. So yeah, man, Tank Davis came out and said that they playing games. Who are they? One would assume that it is his handlers, PBC, Leonard Ellerbe, Floyd Mayweather, these guys. We've seen Tank Davis take some shots at Floyd Mayweather a few weeks ago. Of course, he takes these tweets down, but I don't think it's looking good over there behind the scenes. And a lot of those guys isn't really able to speak. Of course, guys like Broner come out and say some shit. He don't really seem to care about any alleged gag order they potentially may have. That's the narrative that the guys who are more anti-PBC have been saying for years, is that they have a gag order on them. They have they can't really speak freely like like any fighter normally would. They can't just say anything in against Al Heyman or the company or something like that. I don't know, but Adrian Broner seemed to be saying whatever the hell he wants. He told us a couple of weeks ago that it's not looking good over there. We gonna be fighting on Twitter, and now Tank Davis came out with some stuff saying, look, man, they playing games. I should take my talents elsewhere. Tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, holler at your boy. Peace out.